was about to do a bad thing. A bad thing. I knew it. I just couldn't help it. As soon as I saw that big, fat hand reach up and grab the last 2 chocolate chip cookies from the sample tray, I knew it was my signal. I was going in for the kill. I'm a bad girl, and I can prove it. Annoying people. It's something that we struggle with daily, whether they be sitting next to you, right in front of you, or waiting for you when you get home. We all have a unique way of dealing with them. Lori shares with us a special story of how she handles it. This is I Love Everybody by Lori Natoro. I am not exactly a people person. Not exactly. You see, when I was born, God gave me an ounce of patience that was supposed to last me a lifetime. But it turns out I used it all up during the first week. I am not incredibly mean. I must be provoked first. I would classify myself as a pointer-outer of extraordinary acts of incredible foolishness. Some people would call these experiences meltdowns, but I would rather consider them opportunities to enlighten. For example, if you are sitting behind me in a movie and you feel the need to freely converse as if you are in your own living room, I will shush you, and then I will kindly ask you for $10. If you cut me off in traffic, then suddenly and unexpectedly slam on your brakes for no apparent reason, I will scream maniacally and I will point my finger at you. If you try to sneak 2 weeks worth of groceries through the express line and you think that no one will notice, I will look at your cart, I will look at you, and then I will shake my head in utter and obvious disgust as I judge you. If I happen to be looking out the window and see you allow your dog to take a poop in my yard, I will run outside with a pen and piece of paper and query, hey, can I have your address? Because my dog will probably have to crap in the next hour or 2, and I'm bringing her to your house to do it. So, I guess I am mean. I can admit that much. I knew that I couldn't get a job working with people, and just as if I had been hit by lightning myself, I had an epiphany of such revolutionary proportions that I gasped slightly. In a millisecond, I had just hatched a brilliant, magnificent plan. If I could immediately embark on life as a nice people person, maybe my next review would be good. Really, I said to myself, how much energy could it take to be nice? All you had to do to be nice was smile and nod your head, smile and nod, and occasionally toss in a, my, what a pretty dress you have on, or an, aren't you delightful? So I practiced smiling and nodding, and what a piece of cake. To think I could have been doing this all along. After a couple of hours, I felt I was ready to start a new phase in my life, appropriately titled, I Love Everybody. And it was going to be a good day to start out my new niceness, especially as I was headed to Costco to pick up my nephew's birthday cake. 2 miles from Costco. All is going well until a Chevy 2-ton crosses 2 empty lanes of traffic to squeal in front of me and then reduces its speed to that of a Fred Flintstone car. As I passed the truck, I smiled and I nodded. Aren't you delightful? I said, to which he stuck his big, filthy tongue in his cheek and vigorously moved it around as he raised his eyebrows repeatedly. I laughed and said through my smiling, clenched teeth, nice. As soon as I got to the bakery counter, and as the baker was in the process of getting my cake, another customer, a lady with big hair, frosted in chunks, came to the counter and yelled, waving her diamond-encrusted hand at the bakery lady. Ma'am, I only have a question. This will only take a second. I'll be right with you, darling. I'm sure this girl can wait. This will only take a second, and it's important. That carrot cake you have over there, do you have any without walnuts? I can't eat walnuts. I'm peanut sensitive. I took a deep breath. Those aren't our cakes, ma'am. I don't know what they have in them. They come from other bakeries. But my tongue, it gets very big, very swollen. I have a reaction because of an allergy, and it could almost kill me. Do you want to be responsible for my death? Maybe you should try a chocolate cake then. No, I can't. I'm on a diet. The big-armed peanut hater turned her car and rolled away before I could walk over and punch her. Now, finally, with cake in hand, I sped towards the exit. I was making really good time. I was almost through the freezer section when my speedy progress came to a complete halt due to a lady in front of me pushing her cart at that of a snail's pace. Her arms crossed over the handle like the lazy lady she apparently was. I couldn't get around her, and she was making no effort whatsoever to pick up the pace. I was stuck. I tightly clenched the handle of my own cart, chanting with a clenched jaw over and over again like a mantra. I love everybody. I love everybody. I love everybody. Until I saw a break in cart traffic and geared myself, getting ready to make a break for it. I jerked forward, and in the process, I clipped the slow, lazy lady's heel. When I was merely 2 steps behind her, I could no longer hold it in. My bouncy paper towel of patience could stop up no more. I had had enough of the walnut lady, the truck guy, and now the slow walker, and I could take no more. So I let it out, loud and clear, so that everyone around me would absolutely hear. Here's an idea. Why don't you just drop to all fours and crawl through the store? It just might be a little slower. And it worked. She did indeed hear me. But she looked at me, and she couldn't turn much because that would have ripped the tube that was connected to her oxygen tank right out of her nose. I knew I just RSVP'd for my own personal spot in hell. 40 minutes into my nice person experiment, and I was already out of the game. I couldn't even be nice, not even for a whole hour. That's when I finally looked up and found myself right back at the freezer department, square in front of the sample ladies who were busy frying, toasting, and handing out free food. Free food? Well, why not? I said to myself as I walked over to the sample lady whose crowd was the smallest. Although I couldn't help but notice a big frosted head sticking out like a sore thumb. I saw the sample lady was cutting up delicious looking cookies, and I started to help myself to one. However, someone from behind me suddenly bumped me without an "excuse me" or a "pardon me." I saw a big, tan, diamond-encrusted arm that looked awfully familiar reach up to the sample tray and grab not 1, but 2 cookie pieces, and then retreat back like a goblin, almost as if on cue. I turned around, and there she was, her big, frosted head opening wide to pop in the cookie bites. I waited until she chewed a couple of times, and I saw her swallow. I was a bad girl with nothing to lose. "These are the most wonderful cookies I have ever eaten in my life," I said as loudly as I could. Then I turned to the frosted chewing head, who nodded vigorously in agreement. It was then that I embarked on a huge opportunity to enlighten with a bold-faced, nutty lie. "Don't you just love these chocolate chip walnut cookies? I am crazy about these walnuts." And with that, I turned back to the sample lady and smiled. "That is a delightful hairnet and apron you are wearing." Thank you.